This video is about the mom drove to the gardener and a billionaire handed her an umbrella. If this story touches your heart, please mention where you are watching from in the comments. Please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. It was late afternoon when the storm clouds began to gather ominously over the horizon. Anna Parker had been looking forward to this moment all week, a day spent at the botanical garden, a place that felt like a secret retreat from her everyday life. As she navigated her son's car seat and the myriad of snacks she had prepared, she couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and anxiety. Tommy, her 5-year-old son, was bouncing in his seat, his curly hair sticking up in all directions. "Mommy, can we see the butterflies first, please?" His eyes sparkled with anticipation, and she was reminded of how the simplest wonders had the power to ignite a child's imagination. "Of course, buddy, butterflies first," she replied, her heart softened by his enthusiasm. As they pulled into the garden's parking lot, Anna glanced around, taking in the vibrant colors of the flowers peeking through the gray clouds. She had deliberately chosen a day that seemed promising, though she had learned to always carry a spare umbrella. Life had a way of throwing unexpected downpours her way, and she wanted to be prepared. The rain began to fall just as she shut the car door, the droplets tapping insistently against the roof. "Perfect timing, Tommy," she called back to him, her tone light. But inside, a wave of disappointment washed over her. She had hoped for a sun-soaked afternoon, not a soggy adventure. They dashed across the parking lot, laughter spilling from Tommy's lips as he splashed in puddles. Anna couldn't help but smile, even as her shoes squelched against the wet pavement. "Just like a little fish," she teased, and he giggled in response, unaware of her internal struggle. Anna had been a single mother for 2 years now, and while she loved every moment with Tommy, there were days when the weight of responsibility felt heavier than usual. She'd often find herself pondering if she was enough for him, if she was giving him the life he deserved. The garden had always been a place of solace, a reminder of brighter days. Just as they reached the entrance, a tall figure emerged from the shadows of the garden's awning. He was clad in a tailored navy coat, his dark hair slightly tousled by the wind, and as he stepped forward, the rain seemed to pause, spotlighting him against the dreary backdrop. "Here." He extended a sleek, black umbrella toward her, his expression neutral but eyes glimmering with curiosity. "You'll me this more than I will." Anna blinked in surprise, momentarily forgetting the rain cascading around them. "Thank you, but It's no trouble," he cut in smoothly. "I insist, you have a little one to take care of." There was a hint of warmth in his voice, and something about the way he spoke felt both refreshing and disarming. With a hesitant smile, she took the umbrella. "I appreciate it. It's just been one of those days." He nodded, a knowing look in his eyes. "I understand. Sometimes they turn out to be the most unexpected adventures." "Are you a frequent visitor here?" she asked, trying to gauge his story. There was something intriguing about him, an air of confidence that felt both inviting and intimidating. "Occasionally," he replied, glancing down at her son, who was now tugging at her sleeve, eager for the butterflies. "I prefer quieter places to think. The garden offers that." Anna's heart raced slightly at his gaze. "You were right about that. It's a beautiful escape." She motioned towards the entrance, hoping to steer the conversation. "We were just about to see the butterflies. Would you like to join us?" His lips curved into a soft smile, the kind that made her stomach flutter with a mix of intrigue and nervousness. "I do like that. I am Ethan, by the way." "Anna," she replied, her voice softening. "And this is Tommy." "Nice to meet you, Tommy." Ethan crouched down to Tommy's level, his demeanor instantly changing to accommodate the little boy's energy. "Are you ready to see some butterflies?" "Yeah," Tommy exclaimed, eyes wide. As they stepped into the garden, Anna felt an inexplicable sense of connection forming between her and Ethan. It was as if the universe had conspired to bring them together, even if just for an afternoon. The scent of damp earth mixed with blooming flowers filled the air, and Anna felt a rare moment of peace wash over her. As they walked through the winding paths, Anna found herself sneaking glances at Ethan. He was handsome, with sharp features that spoke of privilege and power. Something about him felt familiar and yet entirely foreign. They exchanged light banter, the laughter mixing with the occasional fluttering of wings as butterflies danced around them. "Do you come here often?" she asked, catching him off guard with the question. "Not as much as I used to," he admitted, glancing away for a moment as if lost in thought. "Life gets busy, you know. Sometimes I forget to stop and breathe." "I can relate to that," Anna replied, the weight of her own responsibility surfacing in her voice. "Juggling work and being a mom can be overwhelming." Ethan nodded, his expression shifting slightly, a flicker of understanding dawning in his eyes. I can only imagine you redoing a remarkable job. Tommy seems like a joyful little guy. Thank you, she said, fluttered but wary. Compliments from strangers always made her cautious. It's a work in progress. As they reached the butterfly sanctuary, Anna felt a thrill of excitement as vibrant colors surrounded them. Tommy's eyes lit up as he pointed toward a brilliant blue butterfly that floated gracefully past them. Look, Mommy, it is so pretty. Ethan chuckled, his gaze softening as he watched the boy. You were right, Tommy. That is a morpho butterfly. They are quite rare. Anna's heart warmed at the sight of her son, completely captivated by the moment. Yet, as she turned back to Ethan, she caught a glimpse of something deeper in his eyes, a longing perhaps, or a hint of sadness that he masked well. Do you have kids? She asked, curious. Not yet, but I hope to one day, he replied, a bit sullenly. Then he quickly added, just need to find the right person first, I suppose. There was an unspoken tension in the air, and Anna felt a flicker of something, perhaps an echo of envy or longing to connect. That's not easy, is it? She mused, thinking about her own journey navigating dating after her divorce. No, it isn't, Ethan said, his eyes locking onto hers with a penetrating intensity. But I think it is worthwhile when you find someone who truly gets you. Anna felt her cheeks flush at the intensity of his gaze. The butterflies danced around them, but the real magic felt like it was between them, a fragile thread of connection that was both exhilarating and terrifying. Mom, look. Tommy's voice broke through their moment, and Anna turned to see him chasing after a butterfly that had landed on a nearby flower. Be careful, sweetie, she called, her motherly instinct kicking in. But when she turned back to Ethan, the moment had shifted. The intimacy had dissipated into a comfortable silence filled with promise and unspoken words. I should probably keep an eye on him, Anna said, her heart racing from the brief encounter. Of course, Ethan replied, his voice warm but laced with an undercurrent of something more. But I'd love to join you both for a bit longer. Maybe we can make this adventure into something more memorable. Anna hesitated, her mind racing with thoughts of her responsibilities, the reality of her life as a single mother, and the complications that could arise from spending more time with him. Yet, the allure of this moment, this connection, was undeniable. Okay, she said, her heart pounding as she made her decision. Let us make some memories. As they moved deeper into the garden, she couldn't help but wonder how this chance encounter might alter the course of her life, even if just a little. As they wandered further into the garden, the rain turned from a light drizzle to a steady patter, but the umbrella sheltered them both. Ethan held it high, his free hand occasionally brushing against Anna's as they walked. The atmosphere felt charged, as if the rain had somehow infused the air with unspoken words. Tommy, oblivious to the tension, was darting from flower to flower, his excitement bubbling over. Mommy, look at this one, he exclaimed, holding up a delicate blossom, its innocent joy infectious. Beautiful, sweetie, Anna replied, her heart swelling with pride at her son's enthusiasm. She glanced sideways at Ethan, who was watching her with an expression that hinted at admiration. He loves flowers, she added, a hint of defensiveness creeping into her tone. It is his favorite thing about the garden. Clearly, Ethan replied, a smirk playing on his lips. You must have quite the little botanist on your hands. Anna chuckled, feeling a warmth spread through her. It was refreshing to share this moment with someone who appreciated the magic of childhood. I wish I had half his energy. It is a challenge to keep up. Ethan's gaze softened, revealing a glimpse of his own childhood, perhaps one filled with more privilege than Tommy's. You know, I think children have a way of reminding us of what truly matters. They see beauty where we often overlook it. She considered his words, feeling the weight of her own struggles pressing against her heart. I try to keep that in mind. Sometimes it is easy to get lost in responsibilities. Ethan nodded, something unspoken passing between them. But you seem to be doing well. He is a lucky kid to have you. Thank you, she replied, the sincerity of his words washing over her like a gentle tide. She was surprised by the ease with which they conversed, each word flowing naturally, as if they'd known each other far longer than a mere hour. The path led them to a quaint little bridge adorned with wildflowers creeping over the edges. Beneath, a small stream bubbled over smooth stones, reflecting the dull light of the overcast sky. Anna paused, leaning against the railing, momentarily lost in thought. Beautiful, isn't it? She murmured, watching the water dance beneath them. It is, Ethan said, positioning himself beside her. Water has a way of calming the mind. It reminds us of life's flow, its unpredictable nature. Anna turned to him, catching the hint of sadness that lingered in his eyes. You sound like someone who has thought a lot about life, she said quietly, her curiosity piqued. Ethan sighed, his gaze drifting to the swirling water below. You could say that life has its way of throwing curveballs. Like a surprise rainstorm, she teased gently, trying to lighten the mood. Exactly, he replied, a smile breaking through his solemnity. Or unexpected encounters with beautiful women in botanical gardens. A blush crept up Anna's cheeks at the compliment, but she quickly masked it with a playful retort. You know, there's a fine line between charming and predatory, Mr. Billionaire. Ethan laughed, the sound rich and genuine. Fair point, I promise I am just an admirer of both nature and the people within it. Is that so? She challenged, raising an eyebrow. And what is it about me that has caught your eye? Your passion for your son, your resilience, and the way you light up when you talk about him, he replied, his voice low and sincere. It is captivating. Anna's heart raced, a mixture of flattery and weariness coursing through her. She hadn't allowed herself to entertain such thoughts in years since her divorce. That is very kind, she said cautiously. But I am not here to be swept off my feet by a billionaire. Ethan's expression shifted, a flicker of disappointment crossing his features. I didn't mean to imply. I know, she interrupted gently. This is all new to me. He studied her for a moment, then nodded, a hint of understanding in his eyes. I get it, people have histories, we protect ourselves for good reasons. Anna felt the tension shift back to something lighter. So, you're not just a pretty face with a wallet? Ethan smirked, his confidence returning. I can assure you, there's more to me than that. I do like to think I am a good listener too. Then listen to me when I say that I am complicated. Complicated can be interesting, he replied, an edge of flirtation in his voice. But I do like to know more about Anna Parker. She chuckled, surprised by how easily he drew her out. And what makes you think I am worth the effort? Because I see a spark in you, he said, his gaze intense. And I am intrigued. Anna felt her heart beat faster, caught between the thrill of recognition and the fear of disappointment. Intrigued is a good start, I suppose. With that, Tommy's delighted shout echoed back to them, pulling Anna from her thoughts. He had found a butterfly that seemed reluctant to leave his finger, its delicate wings fluttering against his small hand. Mommy, look at us, my friend, he exclaimed, eyes sparkling with pure joy. The sight of her son lit up brought a smile to Anna's face. You've made a friend in nature, sweetie, she said, crouching down beside him. Be gentle. Ethan joined her, his expression softening as he witnessed the innocent connection Tommy was forging. That is a beautiful moment, he said quietly, his voice laced with awe. It is, Anna agreed, her heart swelling. Moments like these remind me why I wanted to be a parent. Do you have family nearby? Ethan asked, a hint of curiosity in his tone. No, just a few friends and my job, she replied, a small pang of loneliness creeping in. My family lives far away, and they don't always understand my situation. Must be tough, he murmured, his voice filled with empathy. But you're doing an incredible job. Thank you, she replied, a warmth enveloping her under the umbrella, feeling as if she was standing in a bubble of safety and connection. Tommy, now distracted by the butterfly taking off into the air, danced around them. Look, Mommy, that is flying. Ethan watched the boy, a smile breaking on his face. Children have a way of making every moment feel like magic, don't they? They certainly do, Anna said, glancing at Ethan. Just like meeting you on this rainy day. There was a brief pause, a charged moment where their eyes locked, and Anna felt her breath hitch. The intimacy of the moment sent a shiver down her spine and stirred an unexpected rush of feelings that she wasn't ready to confront. I should say that I am grateful for the umbrella, but I think I am more grateful for the company, she admitted softly. Likewise, he replied, breaking the gaze and turning to watch Tommy, a flicker of something deeper in his eyes. Maybe I'll be brave enough to take you up on that coffee sometime. Ethan's gaze returned to her, his expression brightening. I do like that very much. As they walked, their conversation flowed seamlessly, laughter mingling with the patter of rain, the warmth between them thickening with every exchange. Anna felt the edges of her world expanding, allowing hope to seep into the corners she had long kept closed. But as they reached the exit of the botanical garden, a shadow passed over her heart. The reality of their lives loomed over them, reminders of responsibilities and fears. There was something undeniably thrilling about the connection they had shared, yet the specter of her own doubts lurked in the background. Anna? Ethan's voice broke through her thoughts, drawing her back. Are you okay? She forced a smile, trying to mask the uncertainty swirling within her. Just thinking about the rain. Or about us, he asked, his voice low and filled with something more profound than mere curiosity. It is complicated, she replied, her heart racing as she felt the tension rising again. Then let us take it one step at a time, he suggested, sincerity illuminating his features. Okay, one step at a time, Anna echoed, feeling both exhilarated and terrified at the prospect. But as they stepped out into the world beyond the garden, she couldn't shake the feeling that this moment was merely the beginning of a new chapter, one that could lead to both great joy and unexpected challenges. She took a deep breath, ready to embrace whatever came next. The rain continued to fall in gentle sheets as Anna stepped out of the garden, the air thick with the scent of wet earth. She felt as though she had emerged from a dream, the weight of reality pressing back against her. Tommy skipped ahead, still buzzing with excitement over the butterflies, completely oblivious to the emotional whirlpool swirling around his mother. Anna turned to Ethan, who stood beside her, his expression a mix of encouragement and concern. "Are you sure you're okay?" he asked, his voice softening. Anna hesitated, grappling with the urge to bare her soul to this man she had only just met. "I am fine," she said, but her voice lacked conviction. "Just thinking." Ethan studied her intently, as if trying to decipher the layers of her thoughts. "You can be honest with me," he urged gently. "I know we barely know each other, but I feel like there is more beneath the surface." His words struck a chord within her. She wanted to tell him everything: the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the constant question of whether she was doing enough as a mother. But instead, she simply smiled, the corners of her mouth lifting in a way that didn't quite reach her eyes. "It's just been a long day." He nodded, that knowing look returning to his gaze. "Sometimes our minds can be a bit too loud, can't they?" Anna felt the surge of emotion at his understanding. It was as if he recognized the heaviness of her burdens without her having to spell them out. "Yes, it can be," she admitted, her heart fluttering in her chest. "But I am trying to take it one day at a time." "Good approach," Ethan said, his voice slow and steady. "And if you ever need a distraction, I am not opposed to being that guy." She chuckled lightly, the tension easing just a fraction. "I'll keep that in mind." As they walked toward the parking lot, the rain began to let up, transforming into a light mist that filled the air with a refreshing coolness. Anna felt a strange mix of excitement and apprehension as they approached her car. She hated to part ways, but knew that reality awaited her. The prospect of a coffee date lingered in the air, yet the weight of her responsibilities felt heavier than ever. "Do you have plans for the rest of the day?" Ethan asked casually, as if sensing her inner conflict. "No, just the usual," she replied, her voice tinged with disappointment. "Maybe some laundry and playtime with Tommy, the glamorous life of a single mom." Ethan laughed, a deep, rich sound that sent warmth spreading through her. "Sounds like a good time to me. I could use some of the glamour in my life." Anna raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Really? A billionaire wants to trade in his fancy dinners for laundry and playdates?" He shrugged, a playful smile dancing on his lips. "Why not? It is the simple things that often bring the most joy." Dutch. Anna looked down at Tommy, who was now kicking at puddles, his laughter ringing through the air. He certainly knows how to find joy in the small things. Ethan's gaze softened as he watched the boy. "You're doing a great job with him. It's evident how much he loves being around you." "Thanks," Anna said, her heart swelling with pride. "But I often wonder if I am enough for him." "What do you mean?" he asked, his brow furrowing slightly. Sometimes I feel like I am juggling a lot. I want him to have everything: experiences, love, stability, but I worry that I am not providing enough," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan shifted closer, his expression earnest. "You're doing more than enough. He is happy, isn't he? That is what matters most." Anna met his gaze, the depth of his understanding disarming her. "You really think so?" she asked, vulnerability creeping into her tone. "I know so," he replied, his voice firm yet gentle. "The children need love and attention, and you're giving him both in abundance. Don't doubt yourself." She felt a tear prick at the corners of her eyes, but blinked away, grateful for his support. "I appreciate that, Ethan. It helps to hear it from someone else." As they reached a car, the atmosphere shifted slightly, the electric tension returning. "Would you?" Anna began, then paused, feeling a flutter of uncertainty. "Would you like to exchange numbers? Maybe we could plan that coffee." Ethan's expression brightened, and she felt a rush of warmth at the sight. "I do love that. I promise I'll make it worth your while," he replied with a playful grin. As he handed her his phone, their fingers brushed again, sending a jolt of electricity up Anna's arm. "What should I save your name as?" he asked, a teasing lilt to his voice. It just Anna's fine, she replied, her cheeks warming. No need for Billionaire's muse or anything. Oh, but that has a nice ring to it, he countered, a mischievous spark in his eyes. Let us stick with just Anna for now, she laughed, typing her name into his phone. Besides, I am not sure I am ready for the pressures of being a muse. Ethan leaned against the car, his expression turning serious. You know, Anna, I find you incredibly refreshing. Most people I meet are so wrapped up in their own worlds, but you... I am just a single mom trying to make it through, she interrupted playfully, but there was a hint of discomfort in her tone. He smiled, unfazed by her retort. Exactly, and that's what makes you unique. You are real, honest, and I appreciate that. Their eyes locked for a moment, the air thickening with unspoken emotions. Anna felt herself drawn to him, the chemistry crackling like static electricity. But just as she felt the urge to lean in closer, Tommy's voice broke through the bubble. Mommy, can we go now? I want to show you the butterfly I saw. Anna turned, the interruption a welcome relief. Of course, sweetie, she called back, her heart racing. We were just finishing up here. All right, I'll let you go, Ethan said, taking a step back, but watching her with that intense gaze that made her heart flutter. Just remember, I am only a text away. I will, she promised, feeling a tinge of regret at the thought of parting. And thank you for today, that was unexpected. Just like life, right? He replied, a playful glimmer in his eyes. I look forward to our coffee. Me too, Anna said, a smile breaking through the haze of her thoughts. It was nice meeting you, Ethan. Likewise, Anna. He stepped back, and for a heartbeat, they lingered there, a moment suspended in time filled with potential and promise. As she climbed into the car, Anna felt a swirl of emotions, hope, excitement, and a nagging fear of the unknown. She glanced back at Ethan, who stood watching her, the umbrella still in his hands, a symbol of their surprising connection. Mommy, let us go. Tommy's voice pierced her thoughts, and she nodded, starting the engine. As she drove away, she stole one last glance in the rearview mirror, and Ethan waved, his smile still lingering in her mind. Did you have fun? Tommy asked, his small voice breaking through her reverie. I did, Anna replied, her heart warming at the sight of her son's innocent joy. We had a very special day. Can we come back tomorrow? Tommy pleaded, his eyes wide with excitement. Maybe, she mused, a smile creeping onto her face. But let us see what tomorrow brings first. As they drove home, Anna's thoughts drifted between the joy of the day and the uncertainty that lay ahead. She knew that life was unpredictable, but for the first time in a long while, she felt a flicker of hope and the possibility of something more, connection that could blossom like the flowers surrounding them, vibrant and full of life. With each passing moment, she realized that perhaps this unexpected encounter was just the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with laughter, love, and the potential to create lasting memories. And as she glanced at her son, who was grinning ear to ear, she couldn't help but feel that maybe, just maybe, she was exactly where she was meant to be. As they drove home, the gentle rhythm of the car's engine was accompanied by the soft patter of raindrops tapping against the windshield. Anna couldn't shake the smile from her face. Tommy was a vibrant, animated presence in her life, and she had just shared a magical afternoon with a man who, against her better judgment, had caught her attention in ways she hadn't anticipated. Mommy, can we have ice cream when we get home? Tommy piped up, his excitement palpable as he bounced in his seat. After dinner, my little chef, Anna replied, a teasing lilt in her voice. Remember, we have to eat our broccoli first. Tommy scrunched his nose in mock disgust. But broccoli is yucky. Not when you pretend it is a tree, Anna laughed, trying to keep the mood light. And you re a giant dinosaur eating trees. Tommy roared, flaring his arms like a T-Rex, and Anna's heart swelled at the sight of his unfiltered joy. In that moment, the complexities of her life felt distant, as though the rain in the garden had washed away some of her worries. Yet, in the back of her mind, Ethan lingered like a freshly planted seed taking root among her thoughts. Just who was he? A billionaire in a tailored coat, but there was more to him as she felt it in her bones. His gaze had held a depth and understanding that made her feel seen, something she hadn't felt in what felt like an eternity. As they pulled into their driveway, Anna's mind flickered between the mundane chores awaiting her and the thrill of possibility that Ethan represented. She pushed open the car door, the fragrance of wet earth and fresh grass filling her lungs, grounding her in the moment. Mommy, I want to help with dinner, Tommy exclaimed, hopping out of the vehicle. All right, Chef, Anna said, tousling his hair as she retrieved the umbrella from the back seat. Let us get inside before we become soggy spaghetti. As they entered the house, the familiar sights and sounds welcomed them back. The kitchen was adorned with colorful magnets on the fridge, a chaotic collection of art Tommy had created over the year. How about we make some spaghetti and meatballs, she suggested, already reaching for the ingredients. Yay, and can we put extra cheese? Tommy asked, his eyes wide with enthusiasm. Extra cheese it is, she declared, laughing as she watched him dance around the kitchen with glee. But in her heart, the earlier thrill of meeting Ethan had left her mind buzzing, clouding her focus on the simple joys of home. As Anna stirred the marinara sauce, her thoughts drifted back to the garden. Ethan had been a breath of fresh air, and yet a part of her felt overwhelmed. Could she really find the time to explore something more than friendship with him? The complexities of her life pressed against her like an invisible weight. Monty? Tommy's voice broke through her reverie. Are you okay? I am fine, sweetie, she reassured him, trying to mask the strain in her voice. Just thinking about dinner. He tilted his head, eyes narrowing in skepticism. You look like you rethinking about broccoli. Anna chuckled, ruffling his curls again. Maybe I am, but I promise I am not going to make you eat it for dessert. Tommy laughed, returning to his task of setting the table as Anna finished preparing the meal. The scent of garlic and herbs filled the air, grounding her in a sense of normalcy. Dinner time was their sanctuary, a routine that provided comfort amidst the chaos that often defined their lives. As they sat down to eat, Tommy animatedly recounted his favorite parts of the day, the butterflies, the rain, and the mysterious man with the umbrella. Anna smiled at his exuberance, but the mention of Ethan sent a ripple through her chest. Did you like him? Tommy asked, eyes sparkling with curiosity. Of course, he was very nice, Anna replied carefully, wanting to avoid any complications. But he is a stranger, and we don't know him well enough yet. I want to see him again, Tommy declared, his voice earnest. He was like a superhero with the umbrella. Anna bit her lips, suppressing a smile. Superheroes have busy lives, buddy. Maybe one day we can have him over for ice cream. Yeah, then I can show him how I play T-Rex, Tommy suggested, getting caught up in his imagination again. Maybe, she echoed, her heart tugged in two directions. Was it fair to let Tommy develop feelings for someone she couldn't promise a future with? But what if he wants to be our friend? Tommy blurted out, his mind racing with possibilities. Friendship takes time, buddy, Anna said, her voice softening. And sometimes people have to figure out if they want to be friends first. Like how I have to ask before I take a toy. Tommy asked, his innocent reasoning striking a chord within her. Exactly, she replied, her heart aching at the thought of how complicated adulthood could be. Always ask first, sweetheart, you were getting very wise. As they cleared the table together, the chat had drifted back to mundane topics, what they would do on the weekend, the next trip to the zoo, but Anna felt the tug of her earlier encounter deepening. After dinner, as Tommy settled into his pajamas, Anna sent a quick text to Ethan. Asterisk, what a surprise today was. Maybe we could chat more tomorrow. Asterisk. She pressed send, her heart racing as she wondered if she was acting too impulsively. What if he didn't respond? What if he was just being polite? A rush of self-doubt washed over her, but before she could dwell on it, her phone buzzed. Asterisk, I do love that. How about coffee at 10? Asterisk. A breath of relief escaped her lips, and she felt a smile creep onto her face. Perhaps taking a step forward wouldn't be so terrifying after all. Mommy. Tommy called from his bedroom, breaking her thoughts. Can you read me a story, please? Of course, sweet pea, she replied, heading down the hallway to his room, the cozy glow of a bedside lamp illuminating the space. What story do you want tonight? Pete the cat, he shouted, his excitement contagious. All right, Anna said, sinking into the chair beside his bed. As she began reading, she let the rhythms of the story wash over her, cherishing the simple moment. The world beyond faded, making space for the warmth of their bond. When Tommy finally succumbed to sleep, Anna tiptoed out of his room, a sense of accomplishment washing over her. She poured herself a glass of wine, settling onto the couch with her phone in hand. The question lingered in her mind, what did she want from this potential connection with Ethan? Was she ready to open herself up again? As she took a sip, the warmth of the wine filled her, contrasting with the coolness of the reality she faced. Just then, a message chimed in from Ethan, asterisk, looking forward to our coffee. I've been thinking about your son. He is adorable, asterisk. Anna's heart fluttered at his words. Asterisk, thank you. He really enjoyed meeting you, asterisk. There was a pause before he replied, asterisk, good. I hope we can create more memories, asterisk. Her heart raced at the implied promise of more time together. Asterisk, me too, but just to be clear, I am not looking for anything serious, asterisk. A moment passed before he responded, his words deliberate. Asterisk, I understand. Wouldn't he dream of rushing anything? Just want to enjoy the journey. Asterisk. It was an open-ended invitation, and a thrill ran through her. Perhaps this was a chance, not just for her but for Tommy as well. The thought of nurturing a potential friendship with Ethan, free from the weight of expectations, felt refreshing and light. She glanced at the clock and realized it was getting late. With a soft sigh, she set her phone down, the flicker of hope rekindled within her. The night still felt young, and maybe tomorrow would bring the rain of uncertainty, but also the warmth of connection. As she settled into bed, the images of butterflies and raindrops danced in her mind, mingling with thoughts of Ethan and the simple joys of being a mother. She closed her eyes, allowing herself to drift into dreams filled with the colors of possibility, the warmth of laughter, and the gentle touch of rain caressing her hopes for the future. Somewhere in the back of her mind, she knew the journey ahead wouldn't always be easy, but for the first time in a long while, she felt ready to embrace whatever lay ahead.